YouTube, it's Above Average Cody coming at you with a Halo Infinite video all about spawn anticipation and spawn trapping, or a better word for it is spawn control. This basically refers to when you control a map such that you know where the enemy is spawning, you have all of the angles and the crosses necessary to basically keep them in that spawn and create a spawn trap, because obviously they are trapped in the spawn. Now, you can't really talk about this without talking about spawn anticipation, and on top of teamwork, spawn play and just controlling spawns in general is probably one of the most important parts of Halo Infinite, no matter what the objective or game mode is. Now, in the background gameplay here, we have a Strongholds recharge, and this is like the perfect place to show you guys a typical spawn trap or spawn control. But before I dive too deep, I want to talk about spawn anticipation, guys. Now, how do you get spawn anticipation? I'll be honest, guys, it is not a very easy thing to explain, but I can show it to you and kind of explain it to you briefly. Now, I just want to show you here what we're looking at on Recharge. Now, spawn anticipation. This will go for any map. It varies. It takes a lot of gameplay and experience to kind of learn map by map, but I'm just going to give you guys the gist to give you a better idea on how to spawn trap. Now, you can see we're holding A and B here on Recharge. I am chilling out top A. We have Foul down here in Long Haul. We have Soli, I think his name is. He was a random in the lobby playing top glass. And I think we had Enki here in Whirlpool. Now, when you are spread like this on the map, there is a certain area of spawn protection. So an enemy, in most cases, as long as things aren't crazy, the enemy or whoever is spawning up is going to spawn where it is relatively safe away from enemies, damage, or what have you. So we can anticipate that they are going to spawn somewhere on C. Probably not the end of Long Haul, since Foul is moved up pretty far, or they are going to spawn like bottom blue or something like that. This can vary on a lot of matters, like where the team is looking and what's going on around the map. Now, basic rule of thumb, you can anticipate that the enemy is going to spawn away from where your team is holding. And again, since we are holding around about 75% of the map, we are able to anticipate that they are spawning in C. Now, this is a very basic explanation of anticipating spawns, but that's really the most simple way to anticipate and just think about where you can expect the enemy coming from. Now, how do you turn this example into a spawn trap or spawn control? Now, for Recharge individually, you want the high ground, because from top A Balk, from top glass, even from Whirlpool, you have a very wide vision and you can see a lot of different angles on the map. I've talked about this in past videos on Recharge, guys, and now we can see here, you basically just hold your position. And one thing I want to drill into you guys trying to learn spawn control or spawn trapping: discipline. You have to have discipline. If one person pushes up too far, then you could completely throw off the whole spawn trap, and I'll use the example here. Now, here we go. We have the high positioning. We're getting the cross shot. So I'm top A. We have somebody top glass. We easily have two people shooting this fella here on blue box. Now, this is where discipline comes in. People will get a kill, a pick, whatever you want to call it, and just go sprinting forwards and want to attack the third point or the other three enemies on the team. You need to have the discipline to just keep holding position. So you'll see here, I'm just kind of clearing out my A because I'm kind of alone here. I don't have a lot of help except for Enki here, and I'm just holding my position. I'm not running up. I'm not attacking, trying to make an attempt to kill the other players. And then you'll see Foul here is also not moving up. Now, the enemy team gets a pick, so they think it's clear to move in, but instead of me just standing here stiff as a board on top A, I'm holding my position, I'm moving around, I'm checking on my angles, and I'm gifted with a player not even looking at me. But again, guys, I'm holding my position. I am not sprinting up. I am holding. We have the people glass holding. So this is where discipline leads to a spawn trap. And when you pair that with spawn anticipation, guys, we know. We don't even need to think about it. We don't need to check. We know through anticipation they are spawning C because they are now trapped by way of the positions we are holding. And as you can see here, guys, It's just some mix of the whole, but no matter what, we're kind of holding 50% to maybe 60% of the map position-wise, and we're just watching angles to the point where we can see if any enemies are trickling out, you know, whether one's trying to get into goal to flank foul, one sneaking up top glass. I have myself here watching the cross into gold steps. We have Enki here watching the jump up to top glass. So foul has no need to worry because nobody's going to spawn behind him. Nobody's wrapping on him because we're holding the angles. And enter the spawn trap, guys. And this can lead to a lot of time, especially on strongholds. I even checked the scoreboard this game to make sure they had 4 players. And now you kind of just play your angles, hold positioning, and then just give help where you need it. Now, I made a very bad play here over Chaling control. Did not do a great job. However, this is the perks of holding the way we were, guys, in a big line. It is very easy for the team to just shift over, collapse, find the kills, and then just go back into the hold. And now you can see where the spawn trap really helps you, because as long as you have your homies still holding to the further right side from the setup I was giving you, chances are you will spawn on them rather than spawning to that third point because the enemy was just trapped there. So I spawn up. I'm going to go try to help out on A. And I believe we do lose A. Now we kind of have the luxury to go wherever we want. We try to play for camo. And now I'm just going to go back and play for A. And now this is where things get a little wild. But again, I see the A spawn come up, so I'm able to anticipate that they are going to be B and C. It's not always using your positioning to anticipate spawns. You can see where your teammate is spawning and have a pretty good idea that that area is safe. And since I just saw a teammate spawn up on A, I have him cap A, and then I'm going to wrap and go help the random here on B. And again, as you can see, we have enemies B, 2 of them at least, which means there's 2 probably C or control area. We get the A cap, we get the kill there, and now we set up the A and B hold. Now, guys, I can just go through this whole game. I think eventually we get broken on this hold, but you can see 60-13, how a spawn trap and map control like that really can lead to a lot of time on the board. So if you wanted me to explain the major upside here, it is just objective time. When you have the control like that, guys, it's very, very hard for an enemy to make a push. If you guys watched the Game 7 Optic Phase Slayer recharge, I went over it in, I believe, Monday's video, guys. They did a fantastic job of holding the enemy in C and waiting for them to make a mistake. And I really preached Optic's discipline there, because strongholds and spawn control or trapping is all about discipline. So, to summarize, guys, anticipate the spawns and then spread your team out such that you can get crosses. Now, this does not always work. If an enemy's already pushed up, already pushing a point, you can't just, you know, kill one enemy and then all of a sudden set up into this perfect hold. There's a lot of dominoes that have to fall, but again, through anticipation and picking up a few major kills, you are able to set up a spawn trap. But again, this requires getting maybe 2, even 3 enemies in the respawn screen, and then anticipating the spawns, being disciplined on your team and the hold, and getting those cross angles like I explained, because those crosses, guys, even if an enemy or 2 pushes out, the person on the far side that they're not pushing is able to cross and kind of get damage in before they're able to make that push into the person, say, top glass, which just makes an easier gunfight for the person holding. But again, it requires a lot of trust in your teammates, a lot of confidence in your hold, and a lot of good job holding crosses, and again, not over-challenging and having very good discipline like that. Now, guys, I hope this was at least a decent explanation. Again, with spawn anticipation, to some extent, it's very much something that you learn over time through a lot of gameplay, a lot of trial and error, and honestly, a lot of communication. There's always somebody in a lobby that's very good at anticipating spawns, and they're usually keen enough to call it out and tell you what is going on, and that can further help your understanding in terms of knowing where an enemy's spawning, which just makes the game come that much easier. But alrighty, guys. That is a very, dry explanation of spawn anticipation and spawn trapping. I'd love to show you, more examples and things like that, but it's very hard to, have a lot of gameplay ready to go for something like this. But hopefully this kind of gave you guys a basic understanding. If you want a more in-depth video, maybe more examples, or even videos on how to break spawn traps, I'd love to do that for you guys. Let me know in a comment if that is the case. But other than that, guys, subscribe to the channel, please. We upload every single day. We stream Halo 5 days a week. Ton of fun here on the channel. So hit that sub button, guys. Leave a like on the video. I already mentioned commenting if you want to see any of those videos or what else you guys want to see. This was a highly requested video, so I wanted to get to it ASAP for you guys this week. And then finally, guys, channel memberships. Super thanks if you'd like to support monetarily. It helps me out a lot as a content creator, but please do not feel like you have to. But alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for watching the video. Again, I hope this one helped you out. It's a very tough thing to explain, but hopefully this kind of gave you a better understanding on what to look for when it comes to anticipating spawns and then using them to better control the map. But alrighty, guys, thank you for watching. Stay happy, stay healthy, and stay tuned for the next video.